the priorities are different. And he has the priorities in order to be successful. And he knows that there's a timeline. At some point, he's not going to do that much more longer because he's going to miss some very important things with his kid. And he doesn't want to do that. I think if I had someone that was famous as a father, as someone that is like that's the kind of father I'd like to have.
For sure.
Could be able to be like, hey, you know what? It's cool, but yeah, nah.
If you don't believe what this man's saying either, think about all the world champions who within a year's time were like drug addicted, had some other problems, was out on the streets, lost everything, because they put their whole life thinking winning was going to fix whatever's missing in their life. And you know what's crazy too? They do that, they get this giant parade, everybody loves them. As soon as their life going downhill, barely nobody checking in. It happens to so many champions. Yeah, world champions who within a year's time were like drug addicted, had some other problems, was out on the streets, lost everything, because they put their whole life thinking winning was going to fix whatever's missing in their life. And you know what's crazy too? They do that, they get this giant parade, everybody loves them. As soon as their life going downhill, barely nobody checking in.
Right, Shalom, giving all praise unto Hashim, Hashabashim, Kohakodash. Double honors unto the apostles of great millstone, and I honor you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And above everybody are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh. Hashim, Hashabashim, Kohakodash. Giving all praise unto Hashim, Hashabashim, Kohakodash. It's going to be a relatively quick video based upon this clip that we just seen. And these dudes, Abba and Preach, they do pretty decent videos for just keeping up on what's happening out there in the circular world, so to speak. You know, entertainment, nothing too serious. But they typically make good points when they do their videos, and that's why I like to watch them. And I think this is another one of those situations where they've made they've hit the nail with a hammer, so to speak. And pretty much yeah, man, in this world, people are encouraged to chase the bag. People are encouraged to go after these worldly pleasures, so to speak. And like you've just seen in the video, look at the last person, right? Whatever person that you want to use as an example, that's hooked on drugs, hooked on, alcohol. Look at these athletes. Look at these entertainers. Brad Pitt, right? Denzel Washington. They're all dealing with deep mental issues because ultimately the problem, which is internal, hasn't been fixed. Okay, and I'm going somewhere with that particular statement. The internal issue has not been fixed. Okay, a lot of these people are coming from broken homes. They're coming from situations of poverty. They're coming from situations where they've had physical abuse of a sexual nature, abuse of many other different ways of thinking about abuse, and they've experienced it. And ultimately, the fame, the fortune, and all of that, yes, might feel good whilst you're the in thing, but ultimately everybody comes out of the limelight. Okay, you come out of that limelight, and ultimately that crown becomes corruptible. That's why we seek an incorruptible crown that's going to last forever with Yahweh Shai. You see, but like these two individuals I've mentioned, the problems are internal, and with the problems being internal inside of you, what's going to be the solution? To patiently wait upon Yahweh Shai, the scripture says. Does not the scripture say, speaking of Yahweh Shai, he shall wipe away all tears? That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for Yahweh Shai to wipe away all tears and put us in a position where our families, all of these issues that lead to pursuing the chasing of the bag, right? Those issues pertaining to chasing the bag be rectified. You see, really it's an uncommon thing amongst Elam, right? Ishmael, okay, unless they're westernized. It's really an uncommon thing to be endlessly pursuing the bag. They're coming from bigger cultures, they got family, they got units, which when you watch the whole entirety of this clip, this is pretty much what he's going into, right? Chasing that dream, so to speak, chasing to be that person that's the in thing. And what you see amongst Jake is because of the impoverishment, because of how poor we are, okay, how low we are on the world stage, the endless pursuit of these particular things, these crowns, is really ultimately sometimes the downfall of Jake, okay? Whereas we should follow after Yahweh Shai and follow after, right, the Lamb, And we understand from the scriptures that only the elect are going to follow the Lamb. But ultimately, upon Yahweh's return, we see through the elect, the whole 12 tribes of Israel is going to be healed. And then you're going to see a thing. Then you're going to see a functional family. You're going to see functional use of resources and functional, right? Going back onto this video, a functional way of being a champion, so to speak, of being one with a crown upon his head. Because all of these crowns that we have in this world, like you just seen, watch the whole clip for yourself. You just seen, man, right? Winning isn't fulfilling, right? What's the point? And that's coming from a guy might be an Edomite. You watch the clip at the beginning. He might be an Edomite, plays golf or whatever. But he was just saying, look, man, the family's the main thing. And if I was to take that particular point, what's the main thing for us? The scriptures, right? And the family and the body of Yahweh Shai. That's really what's important. That's what's fulfilling. Going out there and teaching the word of Yahweh Shai. And therefore, through that pursuit, we're going to get what? That eternal crown. That's what we're supposed to be preoccupied in. Not chasing the bag or chasing some worldly crown. Okay? So that's the video. Hopefully it's been of edification. Without myself, present the bonus unto the apostles, a great millstone. And honest brothers to be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.